And we're live. Offload. Bawu catches. Here we are. So we're going to talk USA Eagles versus Georgia. The roster was released early today so that you could salivate, digest, and enjoy your day, or get mad and then drink heavily because you didn't like the roster. Just throwing it out there. All right, so let's get into it. Happy Thanksgiving. I ran a 10K this morning, so that was cool. And now then this is gonna be real quick because I gotta get on plane. Okay, and go to San Diego. It's gonna be a fun Thanksgiving, guys. So let's talk about the Eagles. I'm just gonna go position by position, and then I'll break it down. We'll talk a little bit about Georgia Wales and how that figures into our match. I really don't need to talk about Germany USA that much because it was just ended up being how I thought it could go if we didn't allow them to play like their game plan, which is actually what happened. We didn't allow them to do what their game plan was. There was that. All right. So, loosehead, Olive Khalifi earns his second start. He's from Seattle Saracens. Joe Taufete'e, Worcester Warriors, hooker. Oh, man. Tight head, Dina Waldron, London Scottish. Number 4 lock, Greg Peterson. Number 5 lock, Newcastle Falcons. Number 6, blindside flanker, Ben Landry. Number 7, open side flanker, John Quill. And 8-man, Samu Manoa. Man, it's been a while since we've seen him in a USA Eagles jersey, and I am happy about that. Number 9, scrum half, Sean Davies, Glendale Raptors. Number 10, fly half, AJ McGinty, Sale Sharks. Number 11, blindside wing, Ryan Matias, Old Blue New York. Number 12, inside center, Bryce Campbell, Glendale. And my girlfriend is going like this and going like this because that's her favorite player. So, number 13, Marcel Brocky, Perth Spirit and now defunct Western Force. Number 14, open side wing, Mikey Teo. Number 15, fullback, captain, Blaine Scully, Cardiff Blues. On the bench, we've got Peter Malcolm, Austin Elite Rugby, hooker. Number 17, on the bench, Hulu Hulu, Mungaloa, Life West, Loosehead. Number 18, Patrick Ryan, Austin Elite Rugby, tight head. Number 19, Nate Brakely, New York Athletic Club. Number 20, Andrew Durotalo, 8-man or 6. Number 21, Tony Lamborn, Hawke's Bay Magpies. He is our awesome open side flanker. We're going to use him to lift, so that's why he's on the bench. Number 22, wing, Nate Augsburger. He plays a little scrum half, Old Blue New York. Number 23, Will Maggie, Glendale Raptors. So let's get into talking a little bit of Georgia, and then we'll see how we match up. So Georgia finished, 13-6 in a loss to Wales last week, full of controversy. I could, talk to you about an hour about that match, but I'm not going to. Basically, what we've got here is Georgia has, a world-class scrum. All of their scrummagers, all of their forwards, all of their backline players, they all play professionally in France throughout top 14 and Pro D2, and I think there's 2 or 3 guys in the Aviva Premiership. What you saw was the products of Welsh professional rugby versus the products of a union that doesn't even have, any professional system in their country, and all of their players play outside of the country, so they assemble less, and yet, for the most part, I think they dominated the point of attack at scrum. The difference there was really the backs and Wales has very talented backs throughout the back line. So that was the difference there. And, some cynical play at the end of the game. That one's out of water. So we got some more here. But we ended up having a very close game against them over the summer. To be honest, it was one we could have won. And if it was played 2 weeks later when we played Canada and just beat the barn doors off them, we probably would have beaten Georgia. The difference here is we have a different coach. We also have, basically a front line that's just learning it. And so, yeah, that's really Georgia. Talking about USA against Germany a little bit, we ended up getting what we needed up front. I honestly thought Kilifi was not going to start because they brought up Dylan Fawcett from Old Blue as a backup hooker, and he's not on the roster, as you can tell, for match day. I would have thought that because of that, Joe would have slid over to Loosehead, and currently he's the best Loosehead that's not injured, and he's also the best hooker. So I would have thought that they would have slid over Joe to shore that up and bring up Peter Malcolm, and then Dylan Fawcett would back Peter Malcolm up. But that did not happen, and yeah, I don't know what's up with that. However, so let's go into Dino Waldron put together, a good 60, 65 minutes last week at tight head. No issues there, earns the start. The difference really is, I wasn't really pleased with, Greg Peterson. It had been a while since he played international rugby, and he just came back from an injury. I would have liked to see him on the bench for this match. And, I think Cam Dolan could have played the 4 very well, and he's not on the roster for this match. Number 5, Nick Taufete'e, he's just, there's no question about that. 6, Ben Landry. Ben Landry's one of those athletes that just gets after it, and he is a human bowling ball. And I think what will happen is he'll slide over to the 4 in the second half sometimes. And then, we're starting John Quill over Tony Lamborn. To be honest, it's a bit of a 1-for-1. I think the important part here is using when Tony will come in, and he will play hard in the second half. I think that's more to provide our loose forwards with the ability to lift the game. Number 8, Simamu Manoa, man. Like I said, he played a whole 80 minutes for Toulon last week, so he is ready to go. He's in shape. He's gonna run people over. And when he tackles you, he's going to take you into the ground. He's, 6'8", 285, just a massive human being. And, he was injured last spring, so we didn't see him in the Eagles shirt in the ARC or during the summer test series. Go into scrum half, Sean Davies, he's the guy until one of these younger dudes, I think Holden Youngert and Ruben De Haas they're going to be chasing him, and they're going to push him to get better, or they're going to take his job. But Sean Davies is the top 9 in the system that is capped right now. Number 10, AJ McGinty, fly half. There was a rumor that he was going back to Sale this weekend that was in an Irish paper, and God bless you, Mama McGinty, for putting that, no, just put the water on that old rumor. Ryan Matias, love that dude. I hope he grows his hair out again because he looked great with that long hair over the summer. He's a very dynamic blindside wing. Keep him on the field. I would like to see, us develop some wings in the ARC, but when it comes to the outside tests in the summer and autumn, he's probably locked down the number 11 spot. Inside center, Bryce Campbell. He's just a mammoth human being. He's 6'3", 240, and he hits, and he can be dynamic in the open field. Outside center, Marcel Brocky, another big dude. So no issues there. 14, Mikey Teo. This is where it gets interesting. I like the flip, to be honest, but I also would have liked to have seen Josh Whippy. I'm seeing that there was like a travel conflict, so I don't really know what that means, but I really would have liked to have seen Josh Whippy slid into 14 and Mike start on the bench. And because think about this. So our 11 to 15 would be like averaging 6'2" and like 220 pounds. Massive. Wouldn't that be awesome? Gosh, I would love to have that big of a back line. Going to the bench, Peter Malcolm, he's going to do great. He'll probably come in at 30 minutes just to like push the effort a little bit at hooker. And I wonder, I really think you're going to need a combination of minutes from Olive Khalifi, Hulu Mangaloa, and Joe Taufete'e at tight head to really gain parity with Georgia. I just think that's what's going to have to happen. Dino Waldron, last week started at tight head and just did what he needed to do. I think Patty Ryan and he are pretty much like on par with each other. The difference is Patty Ryan's a lot bigger. So I think, bringing him about minute 55, minute 60 to provide that lift on the pack, it will give us something else going forward. Nate Brakely, good to see him in the pack coming in. And then Andrew Duratalo, he'll probably sub in for either Ben or even for Samu. I think he'll come in for Ben, and then, Landry will slide into the 4 or even to the 5, and then Nate will come in and slide into the 4 for Greg Peterson. Tony Lamborn, like I said, you're just going to want this really physical open side flanker come in and help lift the back row and provide that extra leadership. Nate Augsburger, I love Nate as a wing. I love seeing him play 14. He can be extremely dynamic in the open field as a runner. And 23, Will Meggie. He's going to be, our backup fly half right here. So overall, other than front row, this is about as good as it gets. I would like to have seen Cam Dolan on this roster because he can play lock. And if anything, I think based on where Peterson's at, coming back from injury, I think, Cam Dolan probably should be out there instead. So let's see if I can find a line on this. I'm going to find a line. Leo Vegas. We're going to look at the line on Ladbrokes. Leo Vegas. And Patty Powell. Rugby Union. Leo Vegas doesn't want to be available. They have lines for Gaelic football for all you guys that want to talk Gaelic football. Let's go to Future Rugby Union. So, Ladbrokes does not have a line. Georgia's at home hosting us, so I'm going to say Georgia by 7. And I'm going to take USA on the points. So I would put money down for USA plus 7. I think, the confidence we have going into this match from last week and what we were actually able to do this summer, because I expected to lose by 20 this last summer, and it just didn't happen, and we did our thing. So that sucks. And there is also no line on Patty Power. Just putting that out there. So if you were a betting man, I wouldn't bet this game because there's no data on it. So it's gonna be a great match. I really want to see what our front row under this, this staff can do against Georgia. Our locks are overall, like, our pool of locks for this series is as good as it's going to get. And if you're wondering, why isn't your guy like Son Wuching or Josh Whitby out there? I don't know. I can't answer that. The problem with Son playing 6 and being moved to 6 for international rugby is not because he can't play the position. It's that there's like 8 guys in our player pool that can, if protectionist laws weren't in place overseas, that can play professionally at blindside. Like, and he's one of those guys. Like, he's got the fitness, he's got the skills, everything. So, Josh Whitby is out. Don't really know why, but would have been nice to see him there. Like I said, it's gonna be a tough match. If we can get parity at the set piece, get parity at the ruck, we can make this a game. We got parity at the set piece, got parity, and like had overmatch in the scrum overall against Germany. And once they tired out, we were able to hit them hard in their backs and just punish them. Overall, Georgia's backs are not that world class. I mean, they're mostly club guys, and our guys, we just have way better athletes with way better fitness in the back line. So if we can get the ball out consistently and not have it be a, center of the field game of pick and goes with their pack, we can pull this out. So go Eagles.